Hi, welcome back to edtech again. This is a class regarding CSS Grid. We already done earlier a class on CSS Grid, which was grid template columns. So today I'll be doing further on this lesson, which is justify content property. So I'll be using the same template that I use for grid template columns, because grid template columns, as I mentioned in this class, specifies the width of each column. So this is where we use the justify content property. Let's start coding. Everything remains the same as in the grid template columns. You have all these items here, A to H, and you have this grid gap, which is 10px, background color, text align center. You have the container, which is dot alphabet, so display grid, and you have like 1, 2, 3, 4 columns, right? And these items are all the alphabets from A to H, as mentioned earlier. So the div class of alphabets, that's a container with these items inside. Okay, so all the difference here will be, just the difference here will be, sorry, will be about including the justify content property in it. That will be done in the CSS part. So we can close the HTML. There you go. Right. Come here to the container, the alphabets. Just type here justify content. There you go. Justify content. So you'll see the different types of justify content. Let's do one center. And let's see what happens. There you go. So you can find your items all, which is like your columns. All your 4 columns will come to the center of the container, right? Now you can see what happens when you do another setting. Justify content. Let's do space around. Okay. So you have all these spaces around these columns. You have 4 columns. There's a space around here, space around here. So it gets distributed this way. Now remember something. Make sure that the width of the overall grid should be less than the width of the container, as you can see here already. Okay, now let's do another setting here for the justify content. Space evenly. So what is the difference here? You find like there are equal spaces, even spaces rather, aside of each columns. Now let's do space between. So here there's nothing around the edges, the edge columns. So it's just between here. So that means the space between the first and second column, the space between the second and third, and the space between the third and fourth. Okay, now justify content start. It goes to the start of the container, all the 4 columns. Column 1, 2, 3, all 4, all the 4 columns. Let's do the reverse. Or start is end. It goes to the end. So this is widthwise, right? So the column goes to the end of the container widthwise. Remember, the movement is width-wide for columns. So what all we have done? We have done justify content start. We have done justify content end. I just do it again. So this is start. Then you have center. It's not coming to the center. Space around. So you have spaces around all your columns. Space evenly, so that make sure that all the spaces are distributed evenly around it. Space between. So the space is between the columns here. Yeah. So this is all about justify contents, whereby you are adjusting. This is all about justify content property, whereby you are adjusting the space around, between, or of the columns, and to make sure that this movement is widthwise. You have to also make sure that the space of the container, the size of the container is much more than the size of your grid. Okay, catch up in the next lesson. Ciao. And don't forget to subscribe for more such interesting lessons. I'll be doing a complete series on CSS Grid, so don't miss out. Do subscribe. Bye.